Hey everyone, I want to do a quick tutorial for the Trackmania editor on a topic that has been coming up a lot recently. Ever since Trackmania 2020 World Record has started uploading videos to his channel which contain both the world record followed by a comparison video, everybody has been demanding that this become the new standard. And I want to demonstrate to you today that this is possible to do totally within the Trackmania editor. You don't need any other software like Sony Vegas or Windows Movie Maker. You can do it all within Trackmania, and you can create a single file which can be uploaded immediately. So for this example today, we're going to edit B14 speed. We're going to pretend that Race Hans has just got the world record on this track. So we want to show a video showing Race Hans' world record, followed by a comparison between Race Hans and the previous world record, which would be Hefest. So first of all, let's bring Race Hans replay into the editor, click launch and then edit. What we have here is a bunch of custom cameras from Nadio. We don't want these, we just want the default race camera, so we're going to go ahead and delete these. Click on the personalization track and then just remove track and go through all of those and delete them. So first of all, just to be tidy, at the end of replays you often get quite a few seconds of unwanted material at the end. We don't need any of this. So if we click on the Race Hans block, you'll see that his race time was 30.68. So I'm going to finish the block about 1 second after that, so 31.68. And you'll see that this moves the end of the block here. The camera for Race Hans's replay, we also want to move that to the same time as the end of Race Hans's block. So click on the camera block and then make the block end at the same time. So 31.68 again, and then they line up nicely. So now what we want to do is create more space within the workspace. So right click and drag to the left, and this will zoom out. So now we have space here to move our comparison video. So we want to drag these replay blocks to the right, so they start around the time that Race Hans' first replay ends. So the first replay block ends at 31.68. So if we click on the start of these blocks, we can make them begin at 31.68. And that will make the replays line up nicely. So at the moment there's no camera for the second replay video, so what we need to do is insert another camera block into this area. Make sure that this red bar is in a space where there's no existing camera block, and then click on camera track and then insert block and insert camera race. And so this one we're going to target Hefest, since he was the slower player in this video. So now the camera is looking at Hefest. Move the ends of this camera block so that they match up with the replay down here. What we can do now is also trim these the comparison replays so that they end at the same time. So we're going to choose a part of the replay which looks like a nice place to finish. Maybe around here is fine. So this is at the time 1 minute 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. So we're going to make all these blocks end at that time. So click on there and edit the block end time to 1 minute 2 seconds and 50. And now all of these replays line up. You can also press this button here, which will space out the timeline for you nicely. Okay, and so if we watch the end of Race Hans' replay, we'll see that this one will finish, and then the comparison video will start immediately afterwards. So let's see how that looks. Perfect. You might have noticed that when this time block ends, you get a small kind of glitch in the camera. So can you see it? this glitch here. So we can fix that. You just have to be careful with the time block, because playing with the time block can do funny things. But we want to drag the end of this time block all the way to the end so it finishes at the same time as everything else. And now you'll notice that everything is moving a bit in slow motion. So this isn't ideal. So what we can do to fix this is click on the end of your time block. Look at the block end value. And then we want to change this time value so that it matches the length of the block. So that is a 1:1 ratio between how much time is happening and the block time. So we have to enter this in seconds, so it's actually 62.5. And now the replay will play at normal speed. So there you have it. That's all you need to do. For a nice video, you can go ahead and render this using the shoot video button, and then you'll get a file which you can upload straight away to YouTube. If you wanted to add a little bit more finesse, I would recommend adding some transition fades. So to do that, we're going to add track down here and add transition fade, and this gives us this blue block here. We're actually going to add 3. So move the red bar to an empty space, make sure you're clicking on transition fade, insert block, insert another transition fade. So we're going to do 1 at the start, 1 in the middle between the 2 clips, and also 1 at the end. So this block will, by default, it'll move from fully opaque to fully transparent. So for the start, that's what we want. We want it to start black and then open up to transparent. So that's fine. Personally, I think it would be a little bit shorter would be better. So let's just make this about half a second. And there we have a nice transition into the start. For the end, we need to change this around so that it starts transparent, and then click on the end and move this to opaque. So that's our fade out at the end of the video. And we also need to line it up with the end of the replay. So it finishes at 102.50, so we're going to end this at 102.50, and the block will start at 102 flat. So the middle one is a bit more complicated. We want it to start transparent, move to opaque, and then go back to transparent. So that's possible to do also. Click on the start of one of these 3 blocks here, and that will line up the red bar at the very beginning of the comparison video, so it's in the right place. Then click on the transition fade block, and we'll get these extra options here. So we can insert a key, and that will just give us an extra place where we can change settings. So at the start of the block, we want it to be transparent. At the end, we also want transparent. But in the middle, for the key, we want this to be opaque. So this will move. So this will give us a good transition, like so. I can change the time again. So it's 31:18 and finishes at 32:18. That's half a second on either side. And you can zoom in here if you need to see in more detail. But yeah, so that's the final product for me. If you have any more questions, just let me know. I plan on doing some more editor tutorials in the future. A lot of people have asked me like how to create a custom camera, how to create slow motion events. For example, if you have a really nice corner and you want to show it in slow motion, the best way to do that is in the Trackmania editor itself, rather than using movie making software, and that will guarantee that you don't lose any frames, for example. So if you want to see more of this, just let me know in the comments below and I can answer your questions there. Thanks a lot.